presentation. The table of contents is as follows. At first, we introduce about industry and business analysis. After that, we introduce how to valuation about Kakao Pay. The last one is the conclusion. In 2021, much more money was pouring into fintech market than usual. Second quarter of 2021 alone attracted $34 billion in venture capital funding. It means that 1 in every $5 invested by venture capital has gone into fintech market. This huge amount of investment shows demand from investors who are willing to gain returns as the digitalization of finance is getting important. There are several features about this fintech boom. First, this boom is mainly focused on the biggest firms. Unlike big firms, smaller startups with business models have struggled during the pandemic are going through the hard time. Second, the location of fintech activity has changed as well. Unlike in the past, fintech activities are taking place not only in the United States but also in many other regions. Last, the boom also extends beyond payments. An increase in savings in rich countries during the past year has boosted wealth tech startups such as online brokers and investment advisors. There are several features about this fintech boom. First, this boom is mainly focused on the biggest firms. Unlike big firms, smaller startups with business models have struggled during the pandemic are going through hard time. Second, the location of fintech activities has changed as well. Unlike in the past, fintech activities are taking place not only in the United States but also in many other regions. Last, the boom also extends beyond payments. An increase in savings in rich countries during the past year has boosted wealth tech startups such as online brokers and investment advisors. As COVID-19 pandemic is prolonged, non-face-to-face payments have been increased instead of cash payments. There are four growth momentums about fintech industry. First, as the post-COVID-19 era approaches, positive prospects for the reopening industry are expected. Fintech payments industry would be benefited as well as the sales of travel-related global franchise increases. Considering high commissions fee of payment and expectancy of sales growth, fintech payments industry is expected to continue to improve their performance deeply. Second is expectancy for cryptocurrency payments. Foreign payments firms are already widening their capacity to cryptocurrency payments market proactively. Also, local firms are expanding into various fields such as games, metaverse, and NFT. Third is extensibility of remittance functions of fintech companies. With free or low remittance fee, firms can vary or profit with remittance services. The reason why they provide remittance function though is because customers who use remittance service are potential customers who are more likely to use other services. It has great growth potential to be able to obtain traffic and royalty from various customers using remittance functions in an area where many financial products can be used and traded online using apps. The last is fintech payment firms earning B2C. Large fintech payment companies are easy to increase sales per MAU and have very long monthly average stay time compared to the banking industry. For this reason, it acts as another driving force for growth momentum. Next presenter, Jae Kim, will say about business analysis.
Next, I will introduce the business analysis part. Kakao Pay's main service is simple and quick payment. They also offer financial services such as insurance, loan, and investment. Kakao Pay's revenue in 2021 is composed of payment service for 66% and financial service for 28%. Kakao Pay's user bases are constantly growing, and now 41% of Korean are using. In 2018, only about 5 million people used it, but the growth was so fast that now 21.5 million people are using. The number of users is outstanding compared to other fintech services such as Naver Pay and Pulse. The biggest advantage of Kakao Pay is that 9 out of 10 are using KakaoTalk in Korea. It's much easier to attract Talk users to other services. By attracting more users and providing more convenient services, the number of transactions by one person is constantly increasing, and 94 transactions were made in 2021. Kakao Pay's revenue in 2021 was 458 billion won. Their financial service revenue is growing faster than payment service. That means the future revenue will surge up as they provide more various financial services to the users. In 2018, most of the revenue was made by payment service, but in 2021, almost 30% was made by financial service so that they successed to diversify their revenue risk. Unfortunately, a few temporary expenses damaged their financial data. They recorded 27 billion operating deficits because of the cost related to stock option IPO. However, their operating income will increase as the one-time costs return to normal level and their investment for mobile trading system and insurance companies starts to show performance. Next, I will explain what points make Kakao Pay different from other peer groups. Kakao Pay is divided into two separate apps, an in-app format and an independent app. The in-app format identified that most Koreans use KakaoTalk as their main messenger and made it possible to conveniently use payment and remittance services in KakaoTalk. Moreover, the independent app allows not only payment and remittance services, but also investment services and insurance services to be used, so that more specific services can be used than the in-app service. Due to this strategy, the high growth of the monthly activity user continued. As of the fourth quarter of 2021, it is rapidly securing a customer base, increasing 43.7% compared to 2019. This is expected to give the company a great synergy along with its profitability maximization strategy. Kakao Pay's strength is that the age range of users varies from young to middle-aged people. In 2019, Kakao Pay had only 34% of middle-aged people. However, in 2021, the proportion of young people and middle-aged people became 5 to 5. Through this, it has overcome the lack of users in the high age group, which is the major weakness of the fintech industry. In addition, if this trend continues, Kakao Pay's sales are expected to increase for a long time. Kakao is diversifying its business into various sectors for the online to offline sector. Synergy occurs as Kakao affiliates induce Kakao payments in diversified markets. For example, when the person gets off a taxi, he must pay for it, and he can use Kakao Pay to pay for the driver. As a result, the satisfaction of Kakao Taxi customers are increasing, and the number of customers using automatic payment is also increasing. With the growth of the simple payment market, Kakao Pay sales are growing significantly. Furthermore, we should focus on the gross margin. In the case of other PG companies, simple card payment is the main reason, so the commission fee is recognized as sales, and the credit card company's current commission generated during the settlement process is recognized as cost. As a result, their gross margin is in a low level. However, in the case of Kakao Pay, the proportion of simple cash settlement is higher than that of other PG companies. According to Kakao Pay, gross margin is about 40 to 50% at 2021, which shows very high profitability of Kakao Pay. Therefore, the recent deficit is due to one-off expenses, and it is expected to show very good results after these costs are resolved. And next, Dong-in will explain about valuation process.
So let's start to explain how we proceed valuation of Kakao Pay. First, we did valuation using P/E multiple. First of all, fintech industry is still in the early stage and competing fiercely to have strong user base. Some companies had negative EPS, so we considered them as outliers. By the regulation, the relationship between growth rate of net income and PE ratio was inversely proportional. Therefore, we couldn't find a meaningful implication by the regression analysis, so we decided to reject P/E multiple. Next, we did a valuation using EV/EBITDA. Since Kakao Pay's EBITDA was less than 0, it was estimated after obtaining the adjusted EBITDA, which is 9.9 billion. To obtain an adjusted EBITDA, we eliminated one-time costs like stock compensation costs, like IPO cost and so on. And then the average EV/EBITDA of the peer groups of Kakao Pay we assumed is 32. The difference from peers' target multiple was very serious, and as a result, appropriate stock price were not calculated. So we reject EV/EBITDA valuation too. The next one is valuation using EV sales. The EV sales of Kakao Pay is 44.15%, and the growth rate of sales is 61.29%. If we mark that number on the scatter plot, it is far above the regression line, which shows that the current enterprise value of Kakao Pay is overvalued. So we decide that using EV sales ratio is not appropriate to calculate the intrinsic value of Kakao Pay. The last valuation method we used was PB multiple valuation. PBR is suitable for financial institutions where asset quality is important. Kakao Pay started with a remittance and payment system that doesn't require loan and deposit function, but now it is transforming into a comprehensive financial company by expanding its business with various financial services such as insurance and securities. That's why we accepted the PBR valuation. According to regression analysis, growth rate of sales and PBR showed a fairly good correlation. So we thought that PBR ratio is an appropriate method for valuation of Kakao Pay. Then, what is the appropriate price of Kakao Pay? By using PBR valuation, the appropriate price of Kakao Pay is 74,846 won. The BPS is 13,553 won. Average PB multiple is 5.52 multiple. So we suggest that hold Kakao Pay because the security and insurance business has started in recent time. So the profitability of Kakao Pay will be good and there are potential of earning surprise in not a long time because of new businesses. So this intrinsic value will be go up soon. Thank you for watching our presentation. We are Team 5 in VFF team class. Thank you.